Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism and narcissistic relationships. So as you can see, I'm a little bit obsessed with talking about forgiveness right now. I know I've been stuck on this topic. It's because we discussed it actually in my healing program, which just a little bit of a self promo here. If you're interested in joining my healing program, that link is in the video notes. But I must say, forgiveness is a really polarizing topic. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not anti-forgiveness. I know some of the virtues of forgiveness in healthy relationships. I think it can be a key space of growth. However, I see little to no virtue, and in fact, even some harm of forgiveness in narcissistic relationships. So, some folks brought a little quote they saw on Instagram recently to my attention. And the quote was something like, forgiving a person who doesn't say sorry is strength, or that it's strong to forgive someone who doesn't say sorry. Is it? Yeah, drop that in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. There was actually once a quote, I think attributed to Gandhi, that goes, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is an attribute of the strong." So I think that this Instagram was really a riff off of Gandhi. I don't care how this quote is said, I don't agree. A narcissistic relationship is a lifetime or a decade or however how long the relationship goes of never really being apologized to or being apologized to in a BS way. I'm sorry you feel that way. If a person keeps forgiving that kind of thing, is that strong or is that just masochism? It takes the concept of forgiveness and it waters it down. It turns it into some performative divine action a person undertakes to make the world feel better to them. It enables a toxic person, and it keeps a sick status quo stuck where it is. All of this grandstanding around forgiveness, that somehow we are better if we forgive, is something I call forgiveness arrogance. Look how good I am. I forgave them. It's not so good if the person being forgiven views that forgiveness as a permission to keep doing their bad things. We know that when you forgive a narcissistic person, not only does it not change their behavior, they also view it almost as a weakness, that you are the sucker that they can keep playing. Remaining stoic in the face of that, is that actually strength? I don't know about that. We make a big mistake in our society that enduring toxic behavior, cruelty, and meanness without flinching, without anger, frankly, without emotion, is somehow strong. It's not. It is a silencing of ourselves, a silencing of our authenticity, a silencing of our damn truth. I bet if I got the people who believe in that whack quote into a room, they'd say, "Oh, Dr. Ramani, we don't mean that. We mean that we can be better and try to understand the other person and forgive them because they are so lost." I know about that. Narcissistic people don't seem that lost. They know when to turn it on. They know when they can get away with stuff, how to manipulate, how to gaslight, how to get their way, how to intimidate other people, how to bully. That does not feel lost to me. It feels very calculated and cunning. The folks who champion a quote like this would say, "Oh, but we don't mean it if a person keeps doing this." You can't have exceptions in quotes. You're kind of all in on these things. But that's the thing. The people who don't say sorry, they keep not saying sorry. How long is a person supposed to keep enduring and forgiving so an Instagram quote can tell them that they're strong? For too long, people in toxic relationships have been told to put up and shut up, to not be so needy, to not ask for so much, to not expect respect, to make compromise, to be the bigger person, to be more realistic, to try and understand the other person's point of view. Enough. This has to stop. We have to stop forgiving people who keep harming us. We have to stop forgiving the people who never show empathy. We have to stop forgiving the people who keep saying mean and cruel and hurtful things and lie and deceive and gaslight and who don't apologize or apologize as a way of saving face. You don't have to leave the relationship. You don't have to call them out, but you sure as hell don't have to forgive them. You can radically accept that their meanness and their arrogance and their antagonism is who they are and make your decisions accordingly, but you don't need to forgive them. Why is it okay that in a narcissistic relationship, the world expects just one person to carry the empathy burden? I shouldn't even call it a burden, the empathy bag, I guess. Oh, but that's just how they are. They just speak their mind. They're just difficult. They don't have a filter. Somehow, we have become okay with one group of people who must forever be relegated to doing all of the compassionate and empathic heavy lifting for the narcissistic people who refuse to do it. Somehow we have become okay with it. This is why the world is the mess that it is right now. And here is where I really don't like quotes like this. It's not said, but it's implied in this quote. If forgiving someone who doesn't say sorry is strong, does that mean that not forgiving them is weak? I don't think I'm allowed to curse on YouTube, so let's just say F you. To endure these relationships while often being gaslighted by the world, to be eternally confused and guilty and ashamed and self-blaming, that, my friends, is strength. Getting up to fight another day when you walk through the world feeling not enough, like an imposter, and fighting against the internalized, invalidating voices that plague you every minute of the day, folks, that is strength. And finally recognizing the mess of a narcissistic relationship for what it is and saying, I am no longer forgiving this person. They never took accountability. They never took responsibility. They hurt me repeatedly. That is unforgivable. That realization, that is strength. The world is a mess because we keep forgiving transgressions that are unforgivable. We shame people who don't want to forgive after years of being harmed. We call them weak. You want to forgive someone who keeps hurting you, who never changes and never takes accountability and never apologizes? Then you do you. The Instagram solace of feeling strong, I promise you this, it's going to wear away really fast. But if you say something is not forgivable, what this person did was not okay, you don't have to run up to them and say, I don't forgive you. That's something you can carry internally. That is not weakness. It is deep, radical acceptance. And that, from my point of view, if you can do that, is the greatest strength of all. Thanks again.